Is it me or does it feel like no one wants to work anymore? I'm one of them. I certainly do not want to work anymore. I'm sorry, boomers. I know you're out there. You're going to call us lazy. You're going to say we just think we're entitled. Yeah, whatever. You see, this is the thing. It has nothing to do with the fact that we don't want to work no more. Now it's just how we work and why we work. And let me give you a few reasons why we're having this struggle. You see, we have a whole different perspective now when it comes to work-life balances. Thank you, pandemic, during COVID, that changed it all. We all seen, wow, there is actually some enjoyment in working by staying home, being able to go to the gym during lunch, being able to cook. When work is done, it's done. You're home, no commute. I like it. I dig it. Once we had a taste of that, we recognized we could do this. Actually, this is not bad at all. That made us question so much. Why do we have to go into the office? Now we're being forced to go into the office. Either it's a hybrid or your job is just completely eliminated, like those federal employees right now, where it is no option for working remote. That's it. You see, we question why we have to go into the office because we have other options. The other option, obviously, is working remote. You see, the landscape of working had changed so much. And I get it. I love the fact that currently in my job, I'm able to have a hybrid role. It is awesome. I could spend time at home, my family, my kids, less stress. But little by little, we're seeing for no particular reason, only really because of power and the fact of most managers or CEOs, they're boomers and they have the mentality, you need to come to work, everyone together, yada, yada, yada. We don't believe in it and we're tired of it. And the majority of society is feeling the same way. Now, I'm not going to talk crap about the company I work for. Surprisingly, my company is extremely flexible. I don't want to reveal who I work for, but my company is really flexible and I really appreciate it. But it gets to a point you look around like, is this a setup? Because it's too good to be true. But I came to realize the structure in my job is not like that for everyone else. Other people do not have as much options as I do. I talk to some of my friends. We have these conversations. I tell them about, the floating days I have in my job, the amount of vacation days. I have caregiver days. There's so many days I have that they don't have at all. And they work for big corporations. So I recognize in my situation, it's not that bad. But other companies that have it way worse. Another reason why we're questioning so much about working is the wage and cost of living is just not mathing. It feels like the wages have become stagnant for years and inflation is continually increasing and nothing is getting better whatsoever. So of course, when you're noticing the cost of goods and everything is getting so high and your wages are remaining the same, it's extremely frustrating because you say to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I breaking my back every single day and I'm not getting rewarded fairly? You see, it probably was fair back in the days when the cost of living was a lot lower, but now things seem way unattainable. And it's extremely frustrating and people are extremely tired about it. It sucks, but truthfully, the only way to really fix that is if you leave your job to go to another job that pays more. Yes, I've heard that time and time again. I actually heard someone say this. It was the rich BFF. She said after 2 years, if the job is not giving you what you want, you get up and you move. But for some people, they don't want to do that. They might like the job. They might like the coworkers. They might like everything about what they do. And simply just because the company doesn't want to give them a fair wage, they got to get up and leave. It's extremely frustrating. A lot of people do not want to do that. So it's like, what's going on with these corporations? Why are they not increasing the wages? Why are we continuously seeing the company stocks go up? Why are we continuously seeing revenue go up? Why the CEOs are getting bonuses? But what is going on here? Why is it not trickling down to us? Why are we not benefiting from all the great gains that the company is getting off of our back? You see, that's the questions now that we think about. Back in days, boomers didn't think about that. They had pride in work. And we still do too. I have tremendous pride in the work that I do. But it gets to a point, guys, where it's like, is this fair or is this not fair? Because listen, I've seen so many boomers as well struggling and just holding on to back in my days. Who wants to be that guy that's just continuously holding on to back in my days and being so prideful? We don't really care about that. We care about building wealth and having happiness in our life, which with a completely excellent work-life balance. I understand there's people out there, there's entrepreneurs saying there's no such thing as a work-life balance, but at least meet us somewhere halfway, right? At least meet us close to it. At least make us feel like, hey, you're looking out for us as well while we're looking out for you. But right now, it seems completely like that is not the case. The wages and the cost of living is just continuously changing and it's not getting better. You see, toxic work environments as well is a lot of reasons why people are just completely burned out. People are just tired of the office politics. You're seeing a huge burnout happening right now with so many people. You're probably one of them. You had a nice job, you liked it, you worked hard, someone left, you're thinking they're gonna replace them, they don't. Now you gotta pick up their slack. And since you're so good at what you do, and you're so efficient at what you do, they're gonna say, hey, if someone else leaves, you pick up the slack. Managers, the same thing for managers as well. This is not only for employees. I've noticed managers manage a team. When one manager leaves, they take whatever team they were managing, throw it on to the next manager. Now you have managers managing 3 to 4 teams. You see, that used to be a great opportunity for someone to become manager themselves, right? If you're an employee, hey, your manager is managing 15 people, 20 people when they were managing 5. There should be an opportunity where you most likely could help. In some way, you can help and get a promotion. But they're not doing that. They're not doing it at all. And the answers that they're giving you is not good because let's be quite honest. Managers as well are burnt out. They're burnt out way more than someone who is below them because they're picking up so much work and so much responsibilities that it's not worth it. They're not even getting fair wages as well. Let's be honest, managers are not getting fair wages at all. That's why now it's ironic, but it's happening is people are saying bye-bye to promotions. They do not want to accept promotions for that reason. They're recognizing it's the risk and the reward is not worth it. Why am I going to give up so much time for a 10% bump? Money is not everything, all right? Yes, it is for in certain situations, money is everything. But when it comes to giving up so much more that you feel like I've given up so much and I'm not getting rewarded, then what's the point? So with all of that, it leads to like a toxic work environment. It leads to an environment where everyone is stressed out, burnt, people are complaining. It's not a place people want to be in, which ironically, the reason why working remote, people choose to work remote, is to get out of that, environment. People feel like they're way more productive working at home. I'm one of them. I like to work on myself and quietly. And yes, sometimes I like to have conversations to collaborate, but usually I'm the type of person when I'm thinking, I like to think alone. Okay, it's not that I'm in isolation. This is how I think. I like to be alone and that's how I think. So it makes sense to why everyone is completely stressed out and feel like they don't want to work no more because they're just tired of the toxicity going on in the work environments. And let's not lie, guys. There's way more options now to make more money. You see, when boomers back in days, they had no option. Some lived in a town. There was a factory. Everyone worked at that factory. That's just the way it was, right? There was no other option. If you needed income, you get a job or you start a business. Businesses to start back in the days was really difficult. You needed so much capital. But here we are, the Gen Zs and the millennials taking advantage of the internet. When the internet came around, that opened up so many opportunities for us to make so much money. Let me even say this, not even so much money, but replace at least the money you were getting in whatever job you have. You don't need a degree in order to start a business. You don't need to go to college. You don't need none of that to start your own business. Everyone now has an opportunity to run a business. So now, if you're someone working a 9 to 5 and you're continually seeing people all over the internet, all over YouTube and social media, starting their own businesses, they're not working a 9 to 5, and they're basically saying, listen, all I did was just try. I mean, you never know what happens when you try. You start questioning, what am I doing? Why am I sacrificing so much? And it feels like I'm working so much harder than that person on the internet that started their business and they're enjoying life. Like, I want to be that. Now, I'm not here to tell you everything you see in social media is true, but all these opportunities that are out there is true. Listen, you could turn your phone on right now, put your camera, talk, post a video, and you never know what will happen. Right? Your YouTube channel could go from a nice little hobby to a business, to something that either replaces your income or is an additional income stream. Which, hey, you know what? I'm not working my 9 to 5 because I need to. I'm working my 9 to 5 because I want to. And at the same time, I'm being fulfilled financially because I have multiple income streams. You see, that is where everything changed. All this thinking about, can things get better? Yes, there's so many opportunities out there for you to start your own business and do whatever you want. It's not because we're lazy. It's not because we just dream big and we just have this unrealistic vision. It's because there is opportunities out there that if you pursue it, you never know what may happen. And that's another reason why we just don't want to work in corporate America. We want other options. That's it. And you have those options. And of course, people are going to exercise those options. And now, guys, there is just a shift that we're seeing amongst generations. Generation X is looking at millennials like, these guys, they did it all wrong. They had all these opportunities with the internet. And yes, they're good at what they do. These entrepreneurs are millennials. But they're looking as well at the boomers and they're saying, hell no. They're thinking millennials are going that path, the path of the boomers, which is a path that most people do not want to take, which is the work hard path. And this is the only way you can make it path. And guess what? Most of them are broke. They're living in their house that has equity, and that's the only money. They have no money in their 401k account. Everything they were promised, they're complaining about as well, saying they never received. Listen, take a look all over social media, have conversations with family members, or just take a look at your family. You will see people within their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, you don't even know how in the world they are surviving. I know a lot of family members myself at the later ages, they're surviving on just Social Security. In the day and age, we have all these options to build so much income. That's what they did. Did they work their entire life? Yes, they worked their entire life. They raised a family. They did everything you would think. They all did that. They all lived the so-called American dream, and look where it got them. So of course, if you're now in your 20s, in your 30s, and you're seeing that, and you're saying, wait a minute, I'm following the same path they are. Well, something has to change, because if I don't want to end up like that, I got to make changes. That's why the whole FIRE movement is huge right now. People just trying to get to early retirement, to have that option to retire or not, to handle the business now. That way they don't end up becoming someone in their 60s and their 70s that are financially struggling. That's what's going on now, right? You're just seeing, I don't want to be like that generation. Why? That generation is very prideful. And listen, they did, that generation, okay, this is not a video to bash boomers, but boomers definitely worked hard in the conditions that they had. And they definitely were told that this is the American dream, and they pursued it. And to some, they reached it, but to others, they did not, right? It's a tale of the good and the bad when it comes to how you retire in the future if you were a boomer. But we don't want to follow that path because we have so many options. And maybe that's a bad thing, right? Maybe it's a bad thing we have so many options, but at least you could think about it, right? You could think about it and say, man, I need to make changes in my life because I just don't want to end up being someone that's just constantly living with regret. So to me, this whole talk about people just don't want to work no more, it's not true. It's people are thinking about new ways to make income, right? New ways to live a life, because the life that they're seeing how others are living are not the life that they want to live. And right now, it's like a little tension, it's like a little war going on with the corporate America 9 to 5 and the employees. Because listen, not everyone could become an entrepreneur. It's not the way it works, right? For example, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm an investor. Boost the value of those companies. That way my retirement account could increase. That's the way the economy works. But in the same time, I definitely understand, because I'm getting there as well, that just working a 9 to 5, right? And just not wanting to work anymore is something I continuously think about. Do you guys think about that as well? Drop a comment down below and let me know. Catch you guys on my next video. And don't work too hard. Peace.